Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham. We have been studying Sri Shankaracharya's Viveka Chudamani, and we have till now understood that this Viveka is not the ordinary Viveka which is taken as a preparatory to receiving knowledge, but this is the crest jewel of all the spiritual merits that we may have. And we understood it in two ways, that there are so many crusts on our real personality. And if we are able to discriminate and remove them, then we will realize our own real nature. This is Viveka. Secondly, whether we have reached the goal or we are on the way, many times this delusion, this confusion takes place, and we must be able to discriminate clearly that we are on the way, we have not yet reached the goal. So, in these two ways, we have found the meaning of the word Vivek. And then Shankara has shown to us the need of going down to Guru and God, who are the who can be revealed only by the Vedanta Vakyas, and otherwise they are not available to what is known as the ordinary human personality. Then in the second shloka we saw a series of durlava things, but then in the third we were told that three things are really durlava, and that is manushatva, because man only can discriminate, man only can feel his potential divinity, and man only can get the urge of expressing it. That is the next point, mumukshutvam. So this is the rarest opportunity of life if we have got the mumukshutva. But we cannot succeed by our own efforts because our mind is works in Maya, and so it's unless we get a Mahapurusha Sanshraya, a protecting care of a Mahapurush, we cannot succeed. And so these three things only are really rare, and they are all due to the grace of God only that we get it. This has two meanings, that if we get them, we must understand it is not our credit, but it has been the grace of God. That is the one thing. And secondly, the importance of God's blessings are shown here, that without that, we could not have gone this much. And then he says that having got these assets, if we do not make an attempt to realize our own real nature, really, we are like people committing suicide. Who it can be that having got this rare human birth is not attempting to realize his own real nature, which is the only swartha, which is the only real benefit of myself. No other thing can be my swartha, though under delusion I may take this or that as my swartha. Up to this we are read. Now we read the shloka 6. Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan kurvantu karmani bhajantu devataha आत्मैक्य बोधेन विनापि मुक्तिर न सिद्ध्यति brahma shatantarepi. How this mukti would come, and what we ordinarily wrongly feel as means of getting mukti. This is the thing mentioned here. And immediately my attention was caught by something which is not mentioned here. We'll find that Bhajantu Devataha. Devata, plural gods and goddesses, which are the different expressions of the reality, like Agni Devata, Varun Devata, and all that. But Bhajantu Deva has not been mentioned. That is equally important. Because later on, as I pointed out on the first day, later on, it will be very clearly shown in Shloka 31 that bhakti is the most important thing. Now here that bhakti is not mentioned. Bhajantu Devata. Some people are addicted to Chandra, Surya, so many gods and goddesses. And that is not going to lead you to mukti. Up to maximum what they can give you, they can take you to their loka. Not more than that. They do not have the power to do anything more. Anyway, let us come back to the beginning of the shloka. Vadantu Shastrani. That means Vadantu generally can mean recite. So it's a ritual thing. They may have memorized all the scriptures and they may go and repeat them. But that is not going to give us mukti. That is not going to release us from the bondage which we find in our own lives. Now, in this respect, I remember an incident. When the training center was started in Belur Math, 1950s, 56 or somewhere like that. In the first or second batch, one brahmachari wrongly understood our principal, Bodhatmananji Maharaj, was a great teacher of Vedanta. But this boy misunderstood that unless we memorize the Prasthanatrayi, we cannot get mukti. And he started memorizing. And the result was madness. He had to be treated as a lunatic. So this is a very wrong understanding that knowledge of words of the scriptures can give us any knowledge real. So Vadantu Shastrani, let them recite, he says, Yajantu Devan. So other people are so much, nowadays this is getting less and less and less, but there was a time of the Karma Kandis when so many yajnas they would do. So that is only a work, and that work will at the most purify us. Normally it will lead to heaven. And Kurvantu Karmani, that is the most important thing here. We must understand this very clearly. Shankar is not against karma. That is the wrong statement. But karma means I am the doer. Karma means an acceptance of the division between the subject and object. Karma means I am the doer and I am doing things. Now, so long as I am the doer, mukti is impossible. I am the doer is a lower plane of I. I is the only obstruction. One of the crust which has come on our reality is this I. And if I is the doer, then the crust remains. So how can it lead us to mukti? And then as we read Bhajantu Devata, these are all negative things which people normally take as recourse to, wrongly thinking that they will give them something. They give something, limited fruits. Now, Atmaikya Bodhena, Bodha is the main thing. Bodha, change of consciousness. Atmaikya has three meanings. Atmaikya means I feel I am Atman, you are Atman, he, she, it are Atman, but they are not different Atmans. Atmaikya Bodh means the Bodha, the consciousness that the reality of all of us is the same reality. We do not have different realities. If we are different realities, the differences will always remain and there is no chance of mukti. So, Like the Sankhyas or others wrongly think there are so many Purushas. So, Atmaikya Bodh is this one meaning. Second meaning is that generally it is called Brahmatmaikya Bodh, that only Atman is the reality alone, nothing else is real. So here the term used is Atmaikya Bodh. And so the first meaning which I told you is the main meaning here, that there are no separate beings in this world. We, I, you, he, she, it, are the crust on the reality. And they have to be removed by Viveka. And so when this consciousness of individual is changed and our consciousness becomes that there is only one reality in the world, then only we can be free. Freedom consists of full realization of our own real nature. Now, when we talk of freedom, what is bandhan? Imperfection is the bandhan, desires is the bandhan, karma phalas is the bandhan. But from where all this come? From the basic wrong knowledge that I am a separate being. I am a separate being living in this world, a subject among the objects. That is the wrong consciousness. I'm not saying wrong understanding or wrong feeling or their feeling, understanding, all they are the byproducts of what is my actual consciousness. I am a jiva living in this world, and this is the bondage. So when this is changed, Atmaikya Bodh, when we receive, until then he says Brahma Shatantarepi, Brahma Shatantarepi. So some impossibility is being told that you may make all these attempts till eternity, you may say. Brahma Shatantar means, if you want to understand, we have a day and a night and 100 years of life. Brahmadeva's one day is entire cycle of creation and destruction. And such 100 days or 100 lives of Brahma, that means our being reborn continues. Kalpa after kalpa, cycle after cycle. We may go into seed form, and in next kalpa we again come back. We can never get released from this bondage, even till eternity, you may say. Let there be 100 lives of Brahma, and we'll have to go on repeating it. And otherwise, we can get mukti in a moment. In a moment, we can get mukti if our consciousness becomes that there is only one Atman in the world, then that moment we are mukta. So, we understand here, karma means duality. Vadantu Shastrani is a ritual. Yajantu Devan is another ritual. Bhajantu Devata, a trace of bhakti, but not the real bhakti. Because we are devoted to some gods and goddesses, different. And so the result also cannot be same. Now, 7. Amrutatvasya nashasti vittena ittev hi shruti braviti karmano mukter ahetutvam sputam yata. We have to refer to the whole incident. This is a quotation from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And the story is like this. There was a sage, Yagyavalkya. He was a householder. He had two wives. The elder one was name was Maitri. The younger one was Katyayani. And it is described in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad that Maitri was always thinking of God, while Katyayani was a common household woman. Now, Yajnavalkya got illumination and he wanted to live the householder's life and go become a sannyasi. So, when a man is married, he should get the permission from his wife to leave the house. And so, he calls the elder wife, Maitri, and tells her that tomorrow I am going to go. And your relation with Kateni was due to me. And if I go, there need not be any quarrel. So whatever property I have decided to divide into two parts, equal parts. And I will give you the half part of the property. I will give half to Katayani and I will go away. Do you agree, Maitri? Maitri then asked, you are giving me half of your property. But my question is, suppose you give me property, the whole world full of property. Will it give me immortality? Will it give me that which you have got and by which you are giving up this property to me? You have got something which is much higher than all your property. Can I get that if the whole world filled with wealth is given to me? There this reply Yajnavalkya is giving. Amrutatvasya na ashasti vittena. By wealth, you cannot purchase immortality. No hope of getting immortality. You know what is the next sentence? He doesn't say you will be happy in the world. You will be like people who have all resources. That means happiness depends upon the mind. Getting everything also you are not happy, and without anything also you can be happy. So, Amrutatvasya na ashasti. Absolutely, there is no hope of getting Amrutattva by wealth. This is the Vidyena iti eva hi shruti. This is what the Vedas tell us. It is what the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad tells us. This is what Yajnavalkya is telling us. Then what is the meaning? Implication. Braviti. Iti shruti braviti. So, we want to do some karma. As soon as we want to do some karma, we require some accessories. Without some accessories, we cannot do karma. If we want to cook food, we require accessories. We require wheat and rice and so many accessories. If we want to do any karma, we require accessories. And if accessories are purchased by money, now, if by money there is no hope, if by money fill the whole world, there is no hope of getting Amritattva, what does it imply? That by karma you cannot get mukti. So he has already stated in the previous shloka that you may go on doing karma till eternity. About that one point he clarifies here that as Yajnavalkya has told that there is no hope of immortality by wealth. So if there is no wealth, there is no possibility of any karma. How can we do any karma? Now here in Khetri, we are distributing blankets and this and that for poor people. Unless we have resources, how can we do that? So any karma requires accessories. And if it is denied that wealth will not give you mukti, does it not imply that karma will not give you mukti? So karma depends upon wealth. And if wealth does not give you mukti, does it not imply that karma will not give you mukti? Karmano mukter ahetutvam. So karma cannot become the cause of mukti. Sputam yata. It becomes very clear. By Yajnavalkya telling that wealth, infinite wealth cannot give you mukti, it becomes clear that karma cannot lead you to mukti. Ato vimukti prayateta vidwan sanyasta bahyartha sukha spruhasan santam mahantam samupetya deshikam tenopadishtartha samahitatma. Vidwan means not a scholar. Vidwan means one who has understood this point. One who has understood this point that without Atmaikya Bodh, he is not going to get mukti. By karma of any types, all the things mentioned were karmas only. Kudantu Shastrani Yajantu Devan and all that. So by any type of karma, I am not going to get mukti. Vidwan means one who understands this, one who knows this. He has to separately make attempt for mukti. Ato vimukte prayate tat. So one who knows this must make separate attempt for mukti. How? What are the conditions? Which man can make that effort? Sanyasta Bhayyartha Sukha Spruhasan. We need not jump that become a sannyasi. It may mean that, but let us understand the word properly. What he wants to give us a spruha, the desire. Desire of what? Sukha spruha. Desire of getting pleasure. What pleasure? Bhayyartha Sukha spruha. Some object which is outside us that will give us pleasure. He is not householder. Householder has a feeling that living this life, he will get something pleasure. One of my teachers used to say, man is a beggar. He is continuously begging, oh wife, give me pleasure. Oh husband, give me pleasure. Oh father, give me pleasure. Oh food, give me pleasure. Oh this, give me pleasure. Like that we are begging. So long as this is there, so long as there is a feeling, there is a desire that anything other than myself can give me pleasure, till this must be given up. What we are asked to give up? The idea that anything outside myself can give me happiness. This idea itself has to be given up. Now, if it means taking sannyas, well and good. If it means that you, even after becoming sannyasi, this idea does not go, then you are not qualified. If this idea that something outside can give me happiness does not go, then your progress is blocked. So, having renounced this idea that anything other than my real nature can give me happiness, then what is the next step? He must go to a guru. So much essentiality this Shankara, in commenting upon the Mundaka Upanishad, there is a shloka, Tad Vijnanartham Sat Gurumeva Abhigachet, Samit Pani Shrotriyam Brahmanishta. To know the reality, he must go to a guru. There Shankar says, you remember must, and the must is used because Shastrajyopi Swatantrena Brahmanveshanam na Kurya. That is what Shankar tells you. You may be a scholar in Shastra, you may be a knower of Shastra, but if you want to look for Brahman, you cannot make an independent search for Brahman unless you go to a guru. So it is such an essential thing of life. Only reading or only understanding or becoming a scholar is not going to give us mukti unless you go to a guru, unless one who is himself released helps us, we cannot go beyond it. So after having given up the very idea or the desire that anything other than my real nature will give me happiness, samupetya, past participle. That means having approached Deshikam means Guru. And what that Guru is normally, Santam means established in truth. Santam is from Sat, Santam. His adjective is that he has truth. So, Mahantam, that is another thing. All Brahmajnas are not Gurus, please. Hiram Krishna story tells us three friends are going somewhere and beyond a wall they hear happiness shouts. So they bring a ladder, one climbs and laughs, jumps and laughs inside. Second one also laughs and goes inside. The third one, when he reaches and sees the mark of joy, he feels that I should inform everybody. Why should I alone have that? And he comes back and shouts and tells people. So, Mahantam, he should have a broad heart. Antam means Antakarana. Maha means Maha. So Mahantam means a guru who is not only established in truth, but who is having the broad Antakarana. Many gurus are there, many people who realize Brahman, but they do not mix with society. That is how that three friends story tells us. Why he comes? The only explanation he had a broad heart. So we have to approach a person, Deshikam. Deshikam means one who can show us the way. Deshikam means Guru. Deshikam means a person who can show us the way. And he should be established in truth, Santam, and he should have a large heart. And then going to his Guru, we just bow down to him, give him some pranami. Will that give us Brahmajnan? Yenopadishtartha samahitatma. He will tell us something. He will give us Upadesha. And the meaning of that Upadesha, that meaning of his words of Upadesha, we have to put our whole being into that. That is the way he has shown. We have to put our whole personality, whatever we have, whatever we can do, karma or jnana or bhakti or whatever feelings we have, whatever thinking we have, our entire personality, samahita atma. Atma here means antakaran. The whole being, as we say, the whole being is concentrated into the meaning of the teachings of the guide. So, this is how one has to make attempt for mukti. Attempt for mukti cannot be vadantu shastrani, yajantu devan, kurvantu karvani, bhajantu devata. But atmaikya both we can get only, we have to separately make an effort, giving up the desire for getting happiness beyond our outside our real nature and having approached a guide who is established in truth, who has a large heart. And when he teaches us, when he tells us something, our whole being should be put into that. Then that is the way to get mukti. And this attempt has to be done by ourselves. The Guru is not going to make an attempt on our behalf. I remember here one young Swami asking my teacher that is it not possible that by blessing we will get mukti? He replied, if by blessing you could have got mukti, why Sri Ramakrishna's disciples made such hard tapasya? You tell me that. So his blessings are there, and we have to make an effort in the direction showed by him. That is his greatest blessing. That is showing us the correct direction. So, Uddharet Atmanatmanam Magnam Sansara Varidau Yogarudhatvam Asadya Samyak Darshana Nishtaya. Here the word is Yogarudha, and this is from the Gita 6th chapter. Arurukshor Munir Yogam Karma Karanamuchate Yogarudhasya Tasyeva Shama Karanamuchate. That means in the beginning you are doing karma, and that karma, and also side by side we are making an effort to go to God. And that at one point we are able to meditate, and one point we are able to feel the nature of God. Till then, work is our way. And when that point is crossed, then not doing karma or collecting our mind is the way. That means meditation becomes the way. Now, here the point used is yoga rudha. Imagine yoga or attempt to get God is like a hill. So first you have to climb the hill, and then walk on the plain surface on the hill. Walking is still left. Hill climbing is over, but walking is still left. So in that condition, our further attempt happens. So here he says, one must lift oneself by oneself, uddared atmana atmanam, from where magnam sansara varidhau. We are immersed in this ocean called transmigration. We are immersed in the ocean called transmigration. From there, we have to lift ourselves by our own effort. First of all, you must get yoga rudatva. So there, all the place of karma and chitta shuddhi has been accepted. Not from day one. We can make an effort of meditation only. Karma is essential. Later on, he will tell that also. Karma is essential. So long as the yoga hill is not climbed. So long as we are not able to, in our language, you may say, so long as we are not able to meditate continuously or properly, so long as we do not feel the presence of God in us, so long as we do not get a touch, a glimpse of our own real nature, that is called Yoga Rudatva. So, Yoga Rudatva, first let him get Yoga Rudatva. That means let him purify himself by karma along with meditation, by karma along with Shravan Manan Nirdasan. Let him do this. And then he has got the feeling of, he has got the right understanding or feeling or knowledge of the nature of reality. Samyak darshana. Darshana is not only understanding, darshana is a glimpse of the real nature of reality. Then nishtaya. That itself he has to cultivate, that itself he has to culture. He should not deviate from the Samyak Darshan. So Samyak Darshan, he becomes steadfast in Samyak Darshan. That is the way he has opened for us. Make an effort of lifting yourself by yourself when you are immersed in the ocean of samsara. First, first, you must get yoga rudatva. That means you must be through karma and through all other means, you must come to the point where you are able to feel God, where you are able to feel God as your only reality, whether you are able to meditate properly on God. Meditation is not just concentration or upasana. So, when you are able to feel presence of reality inside you, that is yoga rudatva. First, you have to get that. And then that feeling of reality, you must continue in that. And when that becomes permanent, when that becomes strong, when that fructifies, then only we become mukti. That is how it is described in the Gita and all the scriptures. So here he says, this is the way he is showing. After having approached the Guru, then lift yourself by yourself. First get the Yoga Rudatva. Having got that, then be steadfast in the Samyak Darshan, the right feeling, the right awareness of God. Awareness can be the correct word. Awareness of the real nature, awareness of your own real nature. Be steadfast in that. In that way, you have to lift yourself. Sanyasya sarva karmani bhava bandha vimuktaye yatyataam panditair dhirair atma bhyase upasthite. Here also remember, atma bhyase upasthite. When you are able to practice meditation on the real nature of Atman, Atma Abhyas. Abhyas means something doing repeatedly. How can you repeat Atman? Atma Bhyase means you are able to get the glimpse of the real nature of yourself. And then you are repeating that because it comes and goes. You remember, if you go to Vrindavan, you have Jhanki Darshan. Jhanki Darshan. That means the God there is continuously undergoing sometimes Naivedya, sometimes Bhog, sometimes this, sometimes that. and devotees are assembled. And then the pujari will remove the screen, or maybe 1 minute, or then again he covers. That is called Jhanki Darshan, a glimpse. So, Atma, then you will get glimpse. That is the Yoga Rudatva. And then you must make a practice of it. It goes away, you try again. It goes away, you try again. That is Atma Bhyasa. When you have come to the state of Atma Bhyasa, then Sannyasa Sarva Karmani. Then do not come back to the field of duality. Do not come back to your I am the doer state. That is, you remember here, Sarva Karmani. Sarva Karmani. What is karma? Swami Vivekananda has defined in his Karma Yoga. Breathing is a karma, thinking is a karma, eating food is a karma, baking is a karma. What is not karma? So how can you give up sarva karma? Only by giving up the consciousness that you are the doer. Outside is not meant, cannot be meant. How can from outside a man give up sarva karma? He will die next moment. Bhagavan has told in the Gita that your jivita yatra pe na prasiddheda karmana. If you do not do karma, your life itself will come to an end. Now, the Gyanis will say, let it end. They are not careful about it. But otherwise, Atma Bhyase Upasthite Sannyasa Sarva Karmani. Don't come down to the level that I am the doer. That is the only meaning of Sannyasa Sarva Karmani. We should never make a mistake here. Don't judge anything from outside. If a man is helping the humanity without the idea that I am helping humanity, by love of humanity, things are happening. God is working through him. We cannot say he has not given up karma. He has given up karma. Sarva karma can be given up only when the idea that I am the doer goes away. And that also, till you are not Yoga Ruda, you have to continue. And when you become Yoga Ruda, I will refer to Shriram, the Gospel of Shriram Krishna, the very first page. When Master Masha enters, Shriram Krishna is talking that if by taking God's name once, you get horripilation, you get tears of love, tears of joy, then Sandhyadi karma you need not do. Then you have the adhikar of karma tyaga when karmas will automatically drop away when that state. So that is the Yoga Ruda state. So Sannyasya Sarva Karmani, Sarva Karma gives us the hint that it is not only giving up karma. It is only giving up the idea that I am the doer. And this idea can go only by Yoga Rudatva, when you are able to get the glimpse of God. And when you are able to get the glimpse of God, you have to repeat it. You are repeating that. At that point, we should not come back to the field of duality. So Vivek Chudamani, every shloka, every word has to be very carefully understood. Understood in the depth, not only word meaning. Bhava Bandha Vimuktaye. Bhava means world. Bandha means world is a bondage to us. Our life in the world is a bondage to us. And we want to be free from that. Now the syntax, Bhava Bandha Vimuktaye is our attempt. Yatyatam Panditai. What is Pandit? Not a scholar. No. In the Gita, second chapter, Shankaracharya has given the meaning of definition of Pandit. Also, it comes in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There, Panda Atma Vishaya Buddhi. Buddhi is both when our Buddhi, our thinking, you may say, when our consciousness refers to our Atman, that is called Panda. Panda is Atma Vishaya Buddhi. And one who possesses Panda is called Pandit. So, yasya asti sa Pandita. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, same thing comes. Kahor is asking Yajnavalkya, tell me about the Pratyaksha Aparoksha Brahma. Yajnavalkya tells him that first, when the knowledge enters, you see similarity or uniformity of all scriptures. First, when the knowledge enters, the result is that all desires are gone. He becomes a sannyasi, he bakes his food. And when the knowledge further enters, you see, knowledge has to enter into the very being. It is coming slowly from outside. Though knowledge is inside, we are getting knowledge from the rishis, and slowly it is entering inside. So, first a glimpse of knowledge will remove our desires and will become sannyasi. Then the knowledge, when it enters, we becomes pandit. There, that same thing. And this pandit shakes us a little. We become excited when something new comes. When this pandita is digested, we get balya. Balya, two meanings they are given. The power to resist all temptations or the childlike nature without ego. Both are same. And that also may excite us. That has to be digested. Then we get the meditative mood, maunam. And that also that contains some amaunam. That also has to be digested. And then we get the Brahma knowledge or Brahmanatva real. So now we remember what is Pandita. From these two sources we know Pandita means Atma Vishaya Bhakti. We have able to, as I said, this glimpse has given us, I want to speak, our language is very poor. Idea, thought, feeling, a touch of the experience of Atman. That is called Pandita. Pandita is Dhire. Dhire is a Vivek. The word Dhira has two meanings. Dhira means one who has dhairya, one who has patience, one who has fortitude, and Dhira means Viveki. So, a man who has discrimination, man who has got a feeling, you may say, of the real nature of Atman, he must he must have given up the I consciousness which is the doer, and he should be engaged in practicing what he is feeling. Atma Bhyase Upasthite. When he has come to the state of Atma Bhyase Upasthite, then he has to give up all works and Yatyatam. He still should make effort. Panditair Dhire, Bhavavanda Vimuktaye Yatyata. Then he becomes his real effort for getting freedom from this Bhavavanda. Now, what about karma? If karma is to be given up at that point, does it not mean that we have to do it? Yes. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu upilabdhaye vastu siddhir vicharena na kinchit karma kotivi. It is a two-edged weapon, mind you. Many, some bad words come to my mouth, I should check them. Some so-called scholars, some so-called Vedantis think that karma is a vikshepa. I ask them, show me any scripture in the world who has told us that without work you can get chitta shuddhi. If we have renounced our homes and done Virja home and become sannyasi, we are not real sannyasi. That is a formal sannyas. Real sannyasi is where Yoga Rudatva has come, where he is feeling God always in his mind, he is repeating that structure, he is repeating that meditation. We have not reached that state at all. Today we are reading a commentary on the Shatashatur Upanishad. And there Yajnavalkya has a treatise called Yati Dharma, the rules for a sannyasi. And there he is telling that he must do work to purify himself. So, two-edged weapon. Karma is not giving us mukti, accepted, because karma means dualism. Who says no? But without karma, you cannot get the udarudatva. That also is implied. Chittasya shuddhaye karma. Can we get mental purity? Then they argued with me. Some scripture they found where it is told that if we are doing Vedanta Charcha, discussion of Vedanta, it is more efficacious than the prayaschitta karmas. You know, if we commit some grave mistake, we must punish ourselves. That is called prayaschitta. And this Vedanta Charcha is superior to prayaschitta. I told him, whole life we have to do prayaschitta only. Don't we have to do positively karma, Ishwarartha karma? Don't we have to do Niswartha, Nirapeksha, Nirahankar, Ishwararpana Buddhya karma? Then it is giving purification. Without karma, you can never get purification. No Shastras tell us. So we must remember, Chittasya Shuddhaye karma. Natu Vastu Upalabdhaye, understand? Vastu is Brahman, Upalabdhi is experience. How can karma give us experience of God? Karma will purify us. And in a pure mind, automatically the experience of God comes up because the knowledge is inside. We are Brahman by our real nature. We have full knowledge inside us, but it is covered by our wrong knowledge. And this wrong knowledge has made us impure. The desires make us impure. The duality makes us impure. And the doer makes it impure. And there we must apply a medicine. And that medicine is Chittasya Shuddhaye Karma. Natu Vastu Upalabdhaye. Vastu Siddhir Vicharena. Now this Vichara means the Viveka, which is the name of this book, Viveka Chudamani. Now understand Vichar? That the crust on the personality, the very crust of I am the doer and I am the experiencer, this has to be removed. There is a crust of individuality, I consciousness, which is called Vijnanamaya Kosha in the Taittiriya Upanishad. That must be removed. So, Vichara means this very Viveka, which is the name of this book, Viveka Chudamani, and we have been trying to understand it up till now, that the crust must be discriminated. This is not my real nature, and that has to go. So, Vastu Siddhi. Siddhi means we become established in our real nature, Vicharena, by discrimination. And discrimination is not a cogitation. I am not this, I am not that. Actual from the consciousness, those things should drop away. That is Vichara. Vichara is not cogitation or debate between the Panditas. That meaning of Vichara is never should be taken. Let us do Vichara. No. Vichara means discrimination between, not only between what is real and unreal, what is my nature and what is not my nature. And through this discrimination, we remove from our very consciousness everything that is not me. That will reveal my real nature. It is such a natural phenomena. Vastu Siddhir Vicharena, not by Pandits discussing whole. I will tell you one more story. Long back, 78, 79, when I was in Rishikesh. In the famous Kailash Ashram, there was a very good Swami. His name was Harihar Tirtha. Now, one of my friends, here taking names will not be wrong, one of my friends, you all may be knowing the senior Swamis at least, Jayadevananda, who was principal of the training center later on for some time. He also had gone there for some tapasya. He asked Harihar Tirthaji Maharaj, Maharaj, in the ashrama, whole day you are discussing Vedanta. Is that enough for mukti? He straight away said, no. Two more things are necessary, he said. Two more things. First is our life must be pure. So that is that yoga rudato and all that. Our life must be pure. And when we are discussed Vedanta, we have to do manan and this is the ascent to get the experience. This is the clear statement. And so, this is vichar. Vastu siddhir vicharena means includes manana, nididhasana, by which we remove. Nididhasana in Vedanta is not ordinary meditation. We have felt Brahman. We hold on to that feeling. And other things which are coming have to be removed. This is nididhasana. So, that is same as vichar. Vastu siddhir vicharena na kinchit karma koti vi. Now, karma koti itself has two meanings. Crores of karma. Crore, you understand? 10 million. Because everywhere that I am will be there. Another meaning of karma koti is different types of karma. Karma koti V means different types of karma. In every karma, I am is there. So, by karma, we are not going to get vastu siddhi accepted. Chittasya shuddhaya karma must be accepted and in continuation with whatever I have been telling, yoga, rudatva and all that, atma vyasya upasthite. Till atma vyasya upasthite, karma is here. Our teachers used to tell us what is our sadhana in the Ramakrishna mission. Shravan, Manan, Nidyasan and Karma. That is what they used to tell us. Try to experience God and try to do work for self-purification. This itself is our sadhana. So, this shloka 11 has to be very properly understood. Chittasya shuddhaya karma. Not Vedanta Charcha will better than Prayaschitta. But in Prayaschitta all time. Have we done so much papa that we are going to do Prayaschitta? Karma is a positive force to purify us. Nastu vastu upalabdhaye vastu siddhir vichare. And vichar we understood now. It is not a theoretical discussion. It is not a debate. It is the removal of the crust on our real nature. That is vichar. It is the finding out that we have not reached the reality, we have to go forward. That is vichar. Same as that Viveka. Now, he explains it further. Samyak vicharata siddha rajju tattva Brantodita Maha Sarpa Bhaya Dukkha Vinashini. I think we take it on the next turn because every shloka is important, every word is important. So-called progress will not be important. We have to make real progress. So, this shloka was the most important. And as I said, double-edged weapon, it must be assimilated properly. So we read up to shloka 11 today. 12 we shall read next time. Now a small announcement may be done. Oh, that link I have to say. Oh, same link continue. Advaita Ashram classes.
5,000 ले लें ठीक है 3,000 के हिसाब से ले लिया 15 ले लिया ठीक है
Huh? Yes, Maharaj. You are telling something? My announcement is that the Karma Yoga classes have been completed. And from this Monday, I will be having Bhakti Yoga classes for Advaita Ashram. Same timing and all that. And those who have been attending Karma Yoga classes, to them, same link, same password. Same link, same password continues. And the subject changes into Bhakti Yoga from the coming Monday. That is the announcement. Yes, Maharaj, anything more you are telling? So, I conclude for the day. Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणम्।